April 30th, 2018, Tel Aviv. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu stands before the world's press with an extraordinary claim. Behind him, stacks of documents, CDs, and blueprints, all stamped in Persian Farsi, all marked top secret. Tonight, he declares, I'm going to reveal something the world has never seen before. For the next 20 minutes, Netanyahu systematically exposes Iran's nuclear weapons program, warhead designs, trigger mechanisms, test facility photographs, 50,000 pages, 163 CDs, half a ton of Iran's most closely guarded secrets. According to Iran, these files were destroyed 15 years ago, but here they are, in Israel. The question burning in every intelligence officer's mind isn't whether the documents are real. They are. The question is far more terrifying. How did Israel get them? This is the story of the most audacious heist in modern espionage. The night Mossad operatives broke into Tehran, cracked 32 safes, and walked out with Iran's nuclear archive. This is Operation Archive.
The target was hidden in plain sight. Warehouse 14, Shurabad district, southern Tehran. An industrial wasteland of repair shops and factories. Nothing glamorous, nothing suspicious, just another concrete building on a street full of them. But inside those walls lay Iran's most explosive secret, the Ahmad project files. Over 100,000 documents proving Iran's systematic effort to build nuclear weapons, hidden from UN inspectors, locked in 32 reinforced safes, protected by Iran's security apparatus in the heart of their capital. The warehouse was owned on paper by a company called Kalaye Electric, but Kalaye Electric was a ghost. No employees, no products, just a name on municipal documents. A local shopkeeper later recalled, in 5 years, maybe 3 people ever went inside. This was where Iran buried its nuclear past. Climate-controlled, electronically secured, 32 industrial safes, each weighing nearly 1,000 pounds. Inside, blueprints for nuclear warheads, centrifuge designs, test results from secret facilities. Everything the world was told didn't exist. Mossad had been searching for this location for years. Now they'd found it, and they were going in.
The hunt began in 2003. That year, under international pressure, Iran publicly shut down Project Ahmad, their secret nuclear weapons program. Scientists were reassigned, facilities were closed. The world believed Iran's nuclear ambitions had ended, but Mossad didn't buy it. For over a decade, Israeli intelligence chased fragments, a defecting scientist here, a smuggled hard drive there, satellite images of suspicious activity, but nothing concrete, nothing that proved Iran had preserved its weapons research. Then, in 2016, everything changed. A walk-in asset, a mid-level Iranian official, disillusioned and underpaid, approached Israeli intelligence. He didn't know everything, but he knew something crucial. The archive exists, the old Ahmad files. They're stored somewhere in Tehran. Mossad's director, Yossi Cohen, saw the opportunity. If they could find these files, if they could steal them, it would be the intelligence coup of the century. He assembled a team, safecrackers, surveillance experts, operatives who'd worked inside Iran before. Their mission? Find the archive, extract it, whatever it takes. It took 14 months of painstaking surveillance, bribing municipal clerks for building records, tracking unusual security patterns, running facial recognition on anyone approaching suspicious warehouses. Finally, in September 2017, visual confirmation. A Revolutionary Guard officer entering Warehouse 14 with a briefcase, emerging hours later without it. Satellite imagery showing climate control running 24/7. They'd found it. Now came the impossible part, stealing it.
October 2017, the Negev Desert. Inside a classified Israeli military facility, construction crews build a perfect replica of the Tehran warehouse. Same dimensions, same layout, same 32 safes, purchased through shell companies from the same manufacturer Iran used. For 3 months, the team rehearses every movement, every contingency. They call it Operation Archive. 8 operatives, each with a specific role. Their commander, a veteran of Israel's elite Sayeret Matkal unit, codename Ronan. His deputy, an expert safecracker, codename Tamar. The challenges are staggering. 32 safes must be opened. Average time to cut through one safe with acetylene torches, 22 minutes. 32 safes would take over 11 hours, but they don't have 11 hours. They have 6, maybe 7, which means working on multiple safes simultaneously. 4 teams, constant noise, sporks flying, in the middle of Tehran. Then there's extraction, half a ton of documents, 22 heavy boxes, moving them through a city where checkpoints monitor every highway, where one random police stop could mean execution for espionage. The operatives entered Iran separately over several weeks. European passports, different entry points. They rent apartments, establish cover stories, become invisible. They identify the warehouse security, one guard, hourly patrols, predictable schedule. They map escape routes, acquire tools locally, everything untraceable. By late January 2018, everything is in place. They're ready. The date is set, January 31st, a cold Wednesday night when Tehran least expects it.
January 31st, 2018, 11:17 p.m. Tehran is cold and damp. Light rain has left the streets slick. Traffic has thinned. In an apartment in the Vanik district, Ronan receives the coded signal. The shipment is ready. All operatives are in position. The security guard has just completed his 11 p.m. round. His next check, midnight. That's the window. 43 minutes to get inside, neutralize alarms, and begin cutting. At 11:23 p.m., 2 vehicles depart from different parts of the city. A white Peugeot 405, Iran's most common car, and a Toyota van marked Tehran Industrial Maintenance Services. Inside the van, acetylene torches, grinding tools, rolling carts, everything acquired over 3 months through untraceable purchases. 11:39 p.m., both vehicles arrive in Shorabad, parking 2 blocks from the target. 6 operatives move through shadows toward Warehouse 14. They wear maintenance coveralls. To any observer, they're just workers on a late-night service call. 2 lookouts remain with the vehicles, monitoring police radio frequencies. 11:48 p.m., they reach the warehouse side entrance. Tamar kneels before the electronic lock. Her hands move with surgical precision. She's practiced this exact lock 73 times, bypassing the circuit board, overriding security protocols. 37 seconds, a soft click. The magnetic lock releases. The door swings open. Cold air rushes out, the smell of concrete and old paper. They slip inside and close the door behind them. They're in.
The warehouse interior is exactly as intelligence predicted. 400 square meters, concrete floor, high ceiling, and 32 industrial safes standing in precise rows. Each one, Hamra S750 model, 450 kilograms, electronic locks, 12mm steel walls, built to withstand almost anything. Almost. 11:51 p.m. The team splits into 4 pairs, each pair responsible for 8 safes. They work in near darkness, using focused LED headlamps. At 11:54 p.m., the first acetylene torch ignites. The sound is immediate, a loud hissing roar. The flame burns at 3,500 degrees Celsius, hot enough to slice through hardened steel like butter. But it's loud, and it creates light and smoke. Within minutes, all 4 teams are cutting simultaneously. The warehouse fills with the screech of torches, the shower of sparks, the acrid smell of burning metal. Visibility drops as smoke accumulates. The operatives wrap cloth around their faces and keep working. 12:17 a.m. The first safe opens. Inside, black binders, meticulously organized. Documents in protective sleeves, each page stamped with Farsi classification markings. Project 110, Neutron Initiator Research, technical drawings, photographs of equipment. One operative photographs everything as backup. Another loads documents into rolling carts. The pace is relentless. Safes cracking open one after another. 12 safes, 16, 20. Document stacks growing. CDs in protective cases, 163 of them total. Warhead blueprints, centrifuge designs, test photographs from Parchin military complex. Everything Iran swore didn't exist. 1:23 a.m. They're behind schedule. 2 safes have unexpected reinforced locks. Cutting time is extending. Ronan radios the lookouts. We need more time. The response is grim. New guard arrives at 2 a.m. He's unpredictable. The teams push harder. Sweat pours despite the cold. Muscles burn, but they keep cutting. 2:03 a.m., 28 safes open, 4 remaining. Then disaster. The new guard arrives early. The lookouts warn. Guard approaching, 2 minutes. Inside, the operatives freeze. Torches extinguished. Total silence, total darkness. They hear boots on pavement outside. A flashlight beam sweeps through the window. The guard tests the door, checks his clipboard. 45 seconds of absolute terror. Then, his footsteps recede. He's moving on. 2:06 a.m. Torches reignite. Final sprint. Safe 29, 30, 31. At 2:34 a.m., the 32nd safe yields. They've done it. All 32 safes, cracked, emptied. The archive is theirs. Now comes the dangerous part, getting out of Iran.
2:41 a.m. Loading begins. 22 boxes, each weighing 50 kilograms. The operatives are exhausted from 3 hours of intense work. Now they're hauling half a ton of documents to the van, every muscle screaming, every box one step closer to success or catastrophe. 3:14 a.m. Loading complete. The team secures the warehouse. They close all 32 safes, leaving cut locks in place, but making the breach less obvious. They sweep for evidence. The goal? Buy time. Enough to escape before the alarm is raised. 3:22 a.m. The van departs. But here's the brilliance. They don't speed. They don't run. They drive exactly at the speed limit, stopping at red lights, obeying every traffic law, looking exactly like maintenance workers finishing a night shift. 4:37 a.m. The checkpoint. Shahid Shamran Highway. A Revolutionary Guard soldier waves them forward, shines his flashlight into the cab. "What are you carrying?" The driver, speaking perfect Tehran-accented Farsi, replies calmly, "Office archives, moving to new facility, bureaucratic nonsense." The soldier considers. He could ask to see inside, could call his supervisor, could change history. Instead, he waves them through. 4:22 a.m. The vehicles reach safe houses in Karaj district, west of Tehran. The documents are transferred to commercial shipping containers. Over the next 72 hours, they'll be moved again, split up, smuggled out through multiple routes, trucks through the Armenian border, ships from Bandar Abbas, commercial flights. By the time Iranian security discovers the breach on February 1st, the operatives have vanished. The archive is already crossing international borders, heading for Tel Aviv. February 1st, 2018. Morning. Iranian security arrives at Warehouse 14 for routine checks. What they find triggers immediate panic. 32 safes, all open, all empty. Burn marks around every lock. Not a single document remaining. The reaction is swift and furious. Revolutionary Guard counterintelligence launches a massive investigation. How did this happen? Who knew the location? Security footage is reviewed, but cameras mysteriously malfunctioned that night. Dozens of officials are interrogated. Several disappear into Evin prison. But it's too late. The damage is done. Meanwhile, in Tel Aviv, the archive arrives intact. 100,000 documents, 163 CDs. Mossad analysts work around the clock, authenticating everything. Paper analysis confirms dates from 1999 to 2003. Ink tests verify authenticity. Signatures match known Iranian officials. The content is devastating. Project Ahmad in full detail. Neutron initiator designs using polonium-210, which has no civilian nuclear application. Warhead integration blueprints showing how to fit nuclear devices into Shahab-3 missiles. Photographs of the Parchin test chamber.
later demolished by Iran to hide evidence. Computer simulations of nuclear detonations. Personnel rosters revealing the entire organizational structure. Everything the International Atomic Energy Agency had asked Iran about for years. Everything Iran had denied. Irrefutable proof of a systematic nuclear weapons program.
April 30th, 2018. Netanyahu's press conference. Now you understand what you're watching. This isn't just politics. This is the culmination of a 3-year operation, the riskiest mission Mossad has conducted in decades. Netanyahu presents the evidence methodically, holding up CDs, displaying Fakhrizadeh's photograph, naming him as the program's architect, showing warhead diagrams, revealing test site photos, each revelation carefully chosen for maximum impact. The global reaction is seismic. 12 days later, President Trump withdraws the United States from the Iran nuclear deal, citing the Israeli intelligence. The diplomatic framework collapses. European companies flee Iran fearing sanctions. The Iranian economy crashes. But the archive's value extends beyond diplomacy. Those personnel rosters identify scientists still working in Iran's nuclear program. In November 2020, Mohsen Fakhrizadeh, the man identified in the stolen files as Iran's nuclear weapons chief, is assassinated outside Tehran by a remote-controlled weapon. Many believe the archive provided the intelligence that made that operation possible. Iran's response is pure denial. They claim forgery, but tellingly, they never explain how Israel could fake 100,000 period authentic documents with correct paper, ink, and technical details. They attack the messenger while ignoring the message. Behind their bluster lies terror, because if Mossad could penetrate Tehran, crack 32 safes, and extract half a ton of documents without firing a shot, what else can they do?
The Tehran archive heist stands as one of the most consequential intelligence operations of the 21st century. Not because of violence, no one died. Not because of explosions, no facilities were destroyed. But because of what it proved. It proved that human intelligence still matters. In an age of satellites and cyber warfare, skilled operatives on the ground remain irreplaceable. It proved that Iran's nuclear program was never peaceful, despite decades of denials. The evidence was undeniable. And it proved that secrets, no matter how well hidden, are never truly safe. Iran thought the archive was secure, locked away, protected, hidden in a city of 9 million. They were catastrophically wrong. Intelligence agencies worldwide now study Operation Archive as a masterclass. The planning, the execution, the extraction. Security services everywhere ask themselves, if Mossad could do this in Tehran, what could happen here? The 32 safes still sit in that Shoreabad warehouse, empty monuments to failure. The documents they once contained are in climate-controlled Israeli archives, still yielding intelligence secrets years later. And the operatives who pulled it off? They're back in Israel, living quiet lives under assumed names. They walk the streets of Tel Aviv, grab coffee, watch their kids play, and no one knows they're the ones who cracked open Iran's nuclear vault and changed Middle East history. The Israeli government has never officially acknowledged the operation. When asked, officials simply smile and say, "We have our ways."
Questions remain. Who was the walk-in source who first revealed the archive's existence? Were they caught, executed, or safely exfiltrated? Did Mossad have other assets inside Iranian security who helped? Are those sources still active, still reporting, still undermining the regime from within? And what else did the archive contain that hasn't been revealed? Israel released portions publicly, but the full archive reportedly held more. Are their files still classified, too sensitive to expose even now? In Tehran, Iranian intelligence still searches for answers, trying to understand how it happened, trying to prevent it from happening again. But the fear persists. Mossad did it once, they could do it again. And in Tel Aviv, in buildings whose locations remain classified, Mossad officers are already planning the next operation. Because in the shadow war between Israel and Iran, the Tehran archive heist wasn't checkmate. It was just the opening move.